Have you been traveling a lot by plane, by train, by car? Do you find that your body is stiff and sore? Well, I have a short, simple solution for you. Try these three basic yin yoga stretches and you will feel better after. Whether you do this before travel, after travel, or while you're away, this yin yoga practice will help you feel better in your body. I'm using a chair with a blanket on top for comfort. I have a couple of blocks. Grab some props. Your props can be a couch, a bench, a few pillows from the hotel bed, whatever you have available. And when you're ready to get started, come over and set up with me. Right. This first pose is going to be yin melting heart. It's also known as half dog pose. We're going to turn around and face the chair, and you'll be kneeling. So you might want to have a mat underneath you. If a mat's not available, try a towel. That works just fine. And then we'll start with extending our arms. Now you'll have two placements for your head. So I can put my forearms on the chair, and we want length in the back. One option is for me to rest the forehead right on the edge of the chair, and this is where the blanket is nice. And then walk the knees back any amount. You're thinking about moving the tailbone in one direction and the arms reaching the other direction. Lifting a little bit at the lower belly so that you're not sinking into this pose. Perhaps even a gentle press of the arms into the chair. And the toes can be tucked or untucked. So if you found this version and it's working for you, we'll stay here for a few minutes. I want to show you the version without the head on the chair. This time we'll move a little bit further back on the chair and let our head be between our arms. So I still have my forearms on the chair, but I'm moving back a little bit more. And then I'm allowing my head to sink down between my biceps, between my upper arms. I'm still drawing in a little bit in my lower abdominal, and really even thinking about engaging or lifting my armpits as I let my heart melt. This is heart melting pose. We'll breathe and be here for about a minute. Of course, you can stay as long as you like. In a yin yoga practice, we're growing quiet in the poses. So we're finding a place that we can hold with some degree of sensation. And then from there, we're sustaining that place, sustaining that stretch or stress in our body for a period of time. It's not our maximum, it's at a comfortable 50, 60% effort, maybe even less. Let's take about 3 to 5 more breaths, depending on your own breath pace. You're ready to come out, move slowly. You can push into your hands. You might like to take your hands down to an all fours and move into a few cat and cow movements in between. Or you could sit up tall. Feel the effects of the pose in your body for a few moments. So that pose stretched the back of the shoulders. Now we're going to stretch the front body. Here's where I'm going to use my blocks You may feel comfortable doing this pose with no props at all. So again, have a couple pillows or blankets nearby, but maybe you won't want the props like I have. I'm going to put one prop on the seat of my chair. That's actually going to be a pillow for my head. The other block I'm going to sit on, I'm going to come sit in a hero's pose. I'm going to turn around this time with my back facing the chair and have a seat. So you might sit on your heels, in between your heels, or on the block. So in Hatha yoga, we call this hero or reclined hero pose. In yin yoga, it's saddle pose or reclined saddle. I'm going to lean back. Remember that the amount you lean back is completely up to you. I'm going to find a spot where the chair hits me at the lower shoulders, right at the bottom of my shoulder blades. And it's fine if your knees widen and or lift. Mine naturally kind of do that when I come back into saddle. So I'm feeling the chair. And then I'm going to find my block. I might keep it on the low height or the high height. I'll test this out and see. This feels okay to start. You might want more propping under your head. We don't want to strain the front of the body. You might also put pillows or blankets under your hands. This works for me to get a stretch across the collarbones, to let my shoulders kind of just sink back into their sockets. Simply releasing my arms to gravity. Find some stillness. Again, for the purpose of this video and keeping it relatively short, we're staying in these poses for about 2 minutes or about a minute after I stop talking. You can pause and stay as long as you'd like. Let your breath be comfortable. You find that the breathing in yin is starting to become rough or ragged. That's likely a sign that you are past your comfort zone in the pose. And you might want to shift or move out of the pose completely. Reason why saddle or hero pose is such a lovely pose when we've been traveling or seated a lot, not only because it opens up around the chest, but also because it lets us be elongated in our hip flexors. So usually we're flexed here when we're seated. This allows us to be in a more neutral position, and depending on how far you go back, that might even be more of a stretch than I have here. My stretch is mainly in my upper body. If I was using cushions or something lower, I'd probably have more of a stretch here in my hip flexors. If this pose is not doable for you at all, you can hold a Sphinx pose, which also takes the front of the legs, the hip flexors, into that neutral position. And you could do your Sphinx pose propped up on pillows as well. So let's finish with a couple more breaths in this pose. We always come out of yin posture slowly because we've been holding for a bit of time, using our hands to help us out if we can. And coming back around. Okay, I'm going to move the blocks out of the way. I'm not going to use them again. Of course, anytime you need props to feel more comfortable in the yin yoga postures, go ahead and do that. You're going to sit now with your right hip close to the chair. Your legs are going to be off to your left side. I have to say, this is one of my absolutely favorite poses. It's a twist. I love twists, and I love deer yin pose, deer twist. So legs to the side can be any arrangement. You can have them sort of side saddle like this. You can do more of a 90-90 like this. Take the time to set up your legs comfortably. And it really doesn't matter. In yin, we're not so concerned with what things look like, but really how the stretch feels. So once you have that set up, I think I'll go somewhere in between today. You're going to start turning your torso to your chair. Now, if your hips come with you, that's fine. I'm going to rearrange myself so my knees are a little bit more pointed to the chair. And then we're going to use the chair as a support for our torso. So you might need the chair further away from you or closer. You can use the arms as a little pillow. And we are going to relax here. In the yin yoga poses, there's an area that's the target of the stretch, the main target. So for here, it's usually somewhere around the outer hip. If you feel it in different places and that feeling is a good stretch for you, that's awesome. If you prefer your arms extended, maybe you rest them on the back of the chair, maybe you clasp them. The nice thing with the chair is it really offers a number of different possibilities to arrange your limbs, helping to make this pose more comfortable for you. And even though I said I wasn't going to use the blocks, I'll show you a block option if you wanted to bring the block back or a pillow and use it as a support for your head. That works really nicely too. Let's take about 3 to 5 more breaths here. And as you're ready, slowly help yourself up. If you'd like, before going to the other side, you could do a few seated windshield wipers. You could place your hands behind you and be still, maybe feet in a butterfly. Draw your shoulder blades together in the back and lift your chest to the sky. Sometimes taking a few moments to feel the effects, the echo or rebound of the pose in your body could be helpful. And I'm going to turn to the other side. Rather than move the chair, I'll simply be facing away from you for this. And I like to move with minimal effort. So take your knees, sort of spin around with your back to the chair. Take your left side hip to the chair. And then you're facing with your knees in the other direction. Again, your left side hip is to the chair. Perhaps you have to move the degree to which the chair is close to you. I have less twist on this side than on the first side. I'm going to see where I can get to. I might be a little bit more off on a diagonal with my twist here. And it's okay to take the first few moments to find comfort in the pose. Maybe I'll try a block. Maybe your head turns the other way. I'm probably going to misquote, but Paul Grilly, one of the founders of Yin Yoga, says that no pose is illegal in Yin. No variation is illegal. You can arrange your body however works for you. Come back to the breath when your mind wanders, and it will. That's natural for all of us. Find your last few breaths in this pose. Once more, as you're ready, help yourself up with your hands, moving slowly, coming out of the pose. If you want to take a rest or a shavasana, a great option is to put your shins up on the chair. So you'd come around lying on your back with your shins on the chair. I have that in some of my other videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Please comment and let me know, did this work for you? Did you use it pre, post, during travel? It would help so much if you gave me a like, if you subscribed to my channel, if you commented. I've got plenty of things to check out, so I hope you find what you need here. Thank you for joining me today.